Alright, so it's Sunday. I'm going to do a Shack update. So, we still got these back here. We got this one here. I have not done the direct drive conversion. I've got a couple different brackets. I can't decide black or red. And the extruder that will be going on this will be a dual gear, which will be anodized with red. So I'm almost thinking maybe black. And the red on the black would look better. Otherwise, red on red. Other option, I could just remove the entire unit and rewire everything and put a $30 extruder on it. Where is the extruder? Right here. The Creality extruder that cannot be updated to a direct drive, or excuse me, cannot be updated to a dual gear setup. So I think it's probably in my best interest to avoid that. It's cool that it comes with everything, but you're gonna have to take all of this off of here. With this, all I need to do is undo my palm wheels, remove the Bowden tube, remove the stepper, put the stepper on one of these brackets, screw this back on here, clip the Capricorn tube to the right length. Dude, you're done. Then just adjust your E-steps from about like 100 to about... I found 139 on one didn't work. I went to 145. But anyway, so we get that. It's not done yet. I've been playing with the different stereos and stuff, and this Technics here sounds really, really good. I don't like it because it has that big, gigantic Sony power amp module, which means that all the channels are in that module, I guess. So, according to audiophiles, when you have a big chip like that and it's not discrete amplifier components, there can be some crosstalk and bleed over. So I got that here. I got these vintage 70s R&R speakers. I don't remember if the covers come off of these or not. But they have a cloth surround, which is kind of cool. Otherwise, they're particle board. These Sonys actually sound really good. I could totally build what I consider to be a hi-fi sounding system on a thrift store budget, but it's not as easy as it used to be. These Sonys right here were $10 a piece at Goodwill. If they were to pop up in there now, they'd be $20 a piece. You can see how they badly priced this one. I believe this one came from Scottsdale, Arizona. It was at a Goodwill. It was that color tags day. So basically, it was missing these knobs. I 3D printed them. I finally got a picture of what the originals look like, and I could probably make some by changing this file. They're kind of like a witch hat looking thing. They look more like this, but with a flat round base around them. It'd be like if you took that and put it on that. So I'm not super concerned about it. Before there was no knobs. So what some people do in the Goodwills is they go and they steal important knobs off of the radios, and they don't necessarily steal them to sell them, but some people do that. Some people do steal knobs to sell on eBay because certain knobs are worth money. So, but what they'll do is they'll take the knobs and then nobody will buy the radio. And then after like almost a month, it goes about 3 weeks. It goes to 50% off whatever the tag was, and obviously $44 is ridiculous for one of these. So, considering that all things have been donated to Goodwill, and Goodwill is not a charitable organization, they are for profit. So anyway, $44, nobody buys it. Knobs are missing. Goes $22, nobody buys it. And then the next week it is $1. Well, no, actually now it's $2. So I bought this for $2. Nobody wanted it. There was whole tons and tons in Scottsdale. I mean, people got money, so this is like, there was other nicer stuff that was donated, and more reasonable priced also. The problem now with a lot of the thrift stores and stuff is they use this app called Google Lens, and it just takes a picture of this. And if I take a picture of this right now, it would pull it up, and it'd probably show anywhere from $30 to $130 on eBay. But it doesn't pull up completed listings. It just pulls up what people are listing them for. So I got some other ones here. These are all home theater receivers, and they're really nice, but they just don't sound as good. And then I'm building this right now, and I had these boards laying around. They are Douglas fir or something like that, and I don't know what the hell they came from. Some deal at Goodwill, or excuse me, Home Depot. I went in Home Depot one day, and they had a cart full of lumber that said free on it. And the guy was standing by the door. I was like, "Is that free?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Some lady is." There was 3 of these carts. She said, "Some lady says she's coming back with a truck to come get it, but he's like, there's 3 of them, and we'll hold this one for her. You can have these if you want them." And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Okay, let me help you load them into your truck." And I was like, "Perfect." So one was a stack of these, and then the other one was cedar fencing with the planks and the lattice work at the top. And I took all that stuff, and these are just like, these would be really expensive to buy. I filled an entire long bed with all this stuff. I barely was able to get it in there. And then I think the lady showed up while I was loading up, and she got her cart that she wanted. She would probably have taken it all, the guy said, but, she didn't have room. She needed some little Toyota truck. Anyway, been building this bench. It's going to go over here or somewhere. I might finish it out and put it on rollers. Usually I make these robo tables. I don't usually make them like this. And what I do is I frame out the same thing you see down at the bottom here around the rest of the bottom. And I'll raise it up off like about that high. And then I'll cut out a piece of wood like that. And I probably have a piece of wood laying around here that's cut out from one of my old ones. And I just call them robo tables, because once you brace them in at the bottom, they're really strong. This one here, all I had was like 3-inch screws, so I came in at an angle because I run them in like that. Boom, boom. This is a former table that's been taken apart a few times, and screws don't always come out of the wood so nicely after a few times. So, but I've got some scrap wood laying around, and I could probably finish out the bottom. It would be pretty cool to put rollers on the bottom of this thing and have a 4 foot by 2 foot rotating, moving, rolling bench. And actually, what I was thinking of doing, why not just build the damn toolbox? I went and bought something like this, and it's full of crap. But I'm like, I could build something like this and full of crap, get all my good tools in here, so like I know where they're at. Because I've got tools spread out in this box, that box over there, this box over here, and then there's 2 boxes in the house because we have a shop behind the house, but we don't have a garage on the house. So when I want to work on my truck or something like that, my toolboxes are in the house because the shop's behind the house, and it just takes too long to go back here and get stuff. So yeah, I totally want to build a rolling workbench. So I don't know what I've got left laying around for scrap wood. I've got some questionable Home Depot crooked lumber 2x4s, which would be fine for the sides, but you get to the back section, I don't know if any of them are good enough. I really don't like to frame a square around something with bad lumber. So, yes, I am that guy that goes to Home Depot and picks through all the lumber. I do. But I'm not framing the house with it. And I'm building things where I want it to be flat and even. Which, by the way, I need a spacer in here because this is sagging. I cut one for right here, but it blocks the radio in. So, we're going to be making some changes over here. I pulled the stereo out of there. I pulled the stereo from down there. I left this oscilloscope on all night. I've got this piece of junk over here, but really, this is probably good enough. This one still doesn't work. It like attempts to come on for a second, I guess, but I don't have time for it. It needs to be recapped. It's a 400 megahertz oscilloscope. It's pretty cool, but I don't have time for it. I just, if I wanted to make time for it, that'd be another story, but I just don't. So I put these printers over here. There was an Onkyo home theater stereo there, really nice one. I want to get some of the stuff cleared out, and I've gotten rid of a few things this week. I got rid of a lawnmower, weed eater, pressure washer, router table, a couple of old jigsaws, things like that. So, we still got that over there printing in the enclosure. These enders are really driving me nuts. They just, they'll print, but they're really finicky. I haven't had a lot of time to try this one yet. We just calibrated the E-steps. I've got this one with the Sonic pad. I forget what I printed. If I can find it. Actually, it came out good. It needs a little more squish. I printed the Game Boy back door. So what's funny is, I cannot print this to save my life on the SV07. It screws up this part right here, where it first starts it. I can't print it for nothing on the SV07, even turned down to 50 millimeters a second speed. I attempted to print it on the SV06 Plus last night. The first print screwed up. I realized I needed to recalibrate the damn thing because it's always wrong. The Z was off. Once I did that, flawless print. And pretty fast. I was actually surprised. So, I may kind of put some of these up out of the way, and I'll put the SV06 Plus to work and run it on Clipper and see if we can get it going really good. The thing with the SV06 Plus is that the gantry moves on its own all the time, but that's neither here nor there. So, not much happening in the guitar corner. I just come out here and I play for a little bit every day. And I make sure that I play every single day. I'm not a very good guitar player, but I love music and I love guitars. I like to build them. I like to modify them. And, like, for example, here's a Starcaster, which most people don't know what the hell they are. And I found this guy. He had a Nirvana or Pearl Jam guitar that was signed by the band, and he wanted to keep the pick guard on it and put it on a different guitar. And so he had this guitar but with a rosewood neck, and he had bought the guitar from like some liquidation place, so it had a big stamp on the back of the headstock in the wood that said used or something like that. I forget what the name of the place is that does that. Music Go Round or something. Anyway, they get factory returns and they refurbish them and resell them, but they stamp them in the back of the headstock and they remove the serial number. And so that's what it was. It had no pick guard, it had all the electronics, and then he had tried to buy some of the covers for the pickups, and they didn't fit because there's different spacings on these. And you'll find that out if you ever do this. They're not all the same. They might look the same on the Squiers and the Fenders, but like this one's an SE. But if you had let's say, what do you call it? The Affinities, they're different. I don't like the Affinities. They're skinny. So I put together a double layered pick guard. So you got pearloid and then black and white, and then a Dimebucker, a P29 Fender bridge with the big block in the back, and I left the covers off the pickups And then I bought another Starcaster with a maple neck. And it was like an Eric Clapton looking one. And I took the neck off of it, and I had to make a few adjustments to get it to fit really good. It was kind of tight. If you put these in and they're too tight, they'll crack the paint around the neck pocket. So anyway, I got that in there, and that's been like my go-to guitar. It's like an 8-pound guitar. It's really heavy. So if you look at the wood here, you can see there's 3 pieces. Usually there's more than that. So the Starcasters were sold in Best Buy, Target, and big box stores. And they were sold under that name so that they wouldn't compete with the Squier name from Guitar Center and Sam Ash and things like that. So they always had kind of a little bit different in color, more vibrant. I've got what this is called a 3-color burst. Because you have black in between and then tobacco or whatever, you know. So I have a regular Squier SE one, and it doesn't look the same. It's close, but this one pops more. So heavier. I think the guitar that the neck came off was like super fat, you know, so I sanded the hell out of it. So that's one of the other things I do is I'll rework a guitar until it's the way I want it. And if it's a cheap guitar, who cares? Here's the Made in Mexico 2004-ish. It's got a DiMarzio in the bridge. Maple neck. Plays really nice. Can kind of go from country to metal. You know, it's great. This one here is a 2001 standard. So it's called an SE. It's full thickness body. And I converted it to humbucker single. Other than that, not much done to it. A couple string trees up there. I can't remember if it has locking tuners. This one here has it has locking tuners. I don't remember which kind. And then I've got an Ibanez RG 370 or something. Hardtail bridge. I do not like fooling around with Ibanez's tremolos. They just suck. They really do. And I'm not a Floyd Rose fan either. I can set them up. I just don't like them. This is an Oscar Schmidt by Washburn OE20. And if you look at it, if you know guitars, you know that's a Samick. That deal there with the little kind of like T and the flame around the ball, you'll see the same thing on a Jay Tercer type of guitar and a few other ones. They're made by Samick. And it's actually a really quality set neck guitar. And it's not real heavy, it's not real light. It sounds actually really good. And I walked into Sam Ash and they had this thing for something nuts like $127. The only thing wrong with it was it's scratched somewhere here from somebody hanging it on something that wasn't insulated. And I know the manager down there, and he sold it to me for like $117. I'm like, wow. And so this one here, I haven't done a whole lot to it. I did put the Grover 18-to-1 tuners. Really big difference. It had kind of Squier type cheap tuners on it. Let's see, what else do I have in here? I have this is an 80s made in Japan, maybe Korea. I don't think though. But 1983 Mako Traditions. It's called the Traditions XK7. It's a mahogany or ash. I don't remember which. It's kind of heavy. And the body is the shape of an Ibanez Roadstar. It's very similar in a lot of ways. It's got binding on it. It's really nice. Gold-plated hardware. The bridge is a Schaller or Go-To, whatever. It says made in Germany. The only thing that's kind of strange about that is if it was from like 1983, it should say West or East Germany on it, but it does not. I don't know what's up with that. And there's no serial number on these, so what you can do is you pull the switch, and there'll be a manufacturer date on the toggle switch, and mine says 1983. Sometimes there'll be dates on the pots. It has gold-plated Grovers. It's an interesting guitar. The fit and finish on it is absolutely amazing. It's actually the best out of anything I own. I think the only thing I own that might have a nicer finish is I have a 2015 made in Mexico Lake Placid Blue Telecaster. And it's so nice I don't play it. Here is a Jackson 7-string. This is just like $200 guitar. And it actually plays better than some of the more expensive ones. It's flat black. This kind of makes it susceptible to getting polished up where your arm sits. It's got an Armantha purple heartwood fretboard, which I don't care for, but whatever. And it's really a great guitar. Now, they make a gloss version of this with covered, blacked-out pickups, and it sounds like crap. And otherwise, they're identical. I don't know why. The other one also, the pickups don't float on a trim. They go directly into the body. And I had one of those brand new, and I took it back like after a week. It was just terrible. So, that's some of my other hobby stuff. I really used to be obsessed with collecting different stereos and stuff. And it's just been kind of my experience that, like, no matter what you do with these home theaters, unless you run a subwoofer, they don't never, ever sound right for music. I've never actually really set up a real theater. Now, I have some tapes and stuff like that just for the hell of it. This is my all-time favorite amplifier. I need to find a knob for it. I don't really want to print one because these are gloss matte flat black aluminum knobs. But this is a 100 watt per channel. It has auto class A. It has the two types of phono inputs, MM and MC, where the one where the entire cartridge vibrates or the stylus vibrates, I guess, something like that. This thing sounds absolutely amazing. Amazing. And in the corners, I have some Bose speakers. I forget what they are. 401s. Something like that. And they sound pretty good. What the hell are they? Bose. Yeah, the 401s. They're kind of triangle shaped. They sound really good. But I wouldn't run out to go get them. They're very cheap. Vinyl. So, and then on the radio front, we moved the 1200 over here. I need to run a cable out here for the 2-meter for the 746 Pro. And I've been swapping back and forth between the 756 Pro and the 710. And sometimes the 920. Everything else up here is not getting used. It's been raining and snowing. I haven't been taking any of the radios out for portable. So it's been kind of nasty. Today's the first day that's been nice in a while. And it's funny because it dumped a bunch of snow last night. You could hear in the morning when the sun came out, you could hear the water dripping off the roof. And now it almost looks like nothing ever happened. It's sunny out and the backyard's almost dry. So go figure. So anyway, I'm going to try and get a little more stuff set up and organized. I'm going to have something like that resembles a print farm here. And then I need to figure out what I can make and sell possibly, or manufacture. Otherwise, I don't need all these. So we want to get these all dialed in really good. One of these works really good. That one works really good. The Ender doesn't work really good yet. These are unreliable. The Neptune Pro is awesome. I have very little problems with that. In fact, if I was going to start a print farm, I would get like probably 4 of the Elegoo Neptune 4s. I probably wouldn't even bother with the Pro. I think that they're going to perform the same after how I've seen the SV07 on palm wheels work compared to this on these metal rollers. I don't really think you're gaining anything. I think you really need to be going really fast for it to matter. And it's a bed slinger, so you're limited by the bed jerking around. But anyway, what do I know? I'm just a noob. So, I'm going to get this figured out. I think I'm just going to put it right here. And I'll use it for a workbench. I'd love to laminate it so that I don't have to deal with the surface of the OSB. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. Maybe I'll get another sheet of plywood and cut it to fit. And then I can figure out what I'm going to do with the bottom. So that's the shack update for Sunday.